I want to start with a question. Do you know what's worse than failing? It's not losing money, it's not being embarrassed in front of people. It's spending years thinking about what you could have done and never doing it. It's watching your life pass by while you're trapped in the safety of your own mind. I know this feeling all too well because I lived it for years. I thought I was being smart. I thought I was preparing myself. I thought I was making sure everything was perfect before I started anything. But I wasn't preparing. I was hiding. And I didn't even realize it. Overthinking is not careful planning. Overthinking is fear wearing a mask. When I was 20, my life was full of dreams. I wanted to start a business. I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to write a book and share my ideas with people. I could see myself living that life so clearly in my head. But in reality, I was stuck. Every time I got close to starting something, my brain would flood with questions. What if I fail? What if people laugh? What if I'm not ready? And those questions didn't stop me for a day or a week. They stopped me for years. I'd spend hours making perfect plans, hours researching every tiny detail, but when the time came to act, I would freeze. And while I was sitting there in my room thinking, life was moving forward without me. Other people my age were starting projects, making mistakes, learning and growing. I was still stuck at step 0, convincing myself I was just waiting for the right time. The cost of overthinking is bigger than most people realize. It's not just lost opportunities. It's the way it eats away at your confidence. I stopped trusting my own decisions. I second-guessed every word I said, every email I sent, every plan I made. Friendships started to fade because I would overanalyze every text before replying. I even missed out on relationships because I was too busy imagining every possible thing that could go wrong. I missed investments that could have changed my finances forever, simply because I was scared to commit. And here's the cruel part. When you overthink for long enough, you start believing that this is just who you are. You convince yourself you're a cautious person, a perfectionist, someone who's just not ready yet. But the truth, you're afraid. I was afraid. My wake-up call came from an old friend. We were sitting in a coffee shop talking about life. He looked me in the eye and said, "Man, you've been talking about your dreams for years. When are you actually going to do something?" That hit me like a punch in the stomach. I didn't know what to say. I just sat there in silence, sipping my coffee, feeling like someone had just exposed my deepest secret. I realized in that moment that I had been living in the future for so long that I had forgotten how to live in the present. I was running out of time, not because I was getting old, but because every year I spent overthinking was a year I could never get back. I wish I could tell you I changed my life overnight, but that's not how it happened. Breaking free from overthinking is like breaking out of a prison you built yourself. The door is open, but you've convinced yourself it's locked. The first thing I did was set deadlines for my decisions. No more endless pros and cons lists. If I had to make a choice, I gave myself 24 hours, maximum. This forced me to take action instead of getting lost in analysis. Second, I stopped trying to see the whole road before I started walking. I focused on the first step only. If my goal was to start a business, my first step was to make a phone call. If my goal was to get fit, my first step was to put on my shoes and go for a run. That's it. I made the next step so small that I couldn't talk myself out of it. The third thing I did was accept imperfection. I learned that failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every successful person I admired had failed more times than I had even tried. And the final thing, the most important thing, was this. I took action before I felt ready, because here's the secret nobody tells you. You will never feel ready. That voice in your head that says, "Wait, not yet. Just prepare a little more." It will always be there. You have to act while the voice is still talking. You have to move even when your hands are shaking. And when you do, something amazing happens. Your fear starts to shrink, and your confidence starts to grow. If you're watching this, and you feel stuck right now, I want you to hear me clearly. Your life will not change because you thought about changing it. Your life will only change when you do something. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is a lie. The perfect time is now. You have already lost enough time. Don't lose another day. Trust yourself. Take the first step, even if it's tiny. Action beats perfection every single time. I wasted years overthinking, and it is my biggest regret. But maybe, just maybe, my story can save you from making the same mistake. If you've been living in your head for too long, this is your sign. It's time to get out. It's time to live. And before you go, if this video spoke to you, I have more just like it on this channel. Videos that will help you break free from fear, build unstoppable confidence, and finally start living the life you deserve. Go check them out right now, because your future self will thank you for it. And remember, you don't need more time. You need to start.